Hi there, YouTube audience. Welcome back to Nerdward Order's 31 Days of Halloween. And this time I let the guest pick the movie, and I'm not disappointed. Jake, what did you pick for us?
I picked Zombie Hunter Rika.
Now, I want you to take the lead on this one, because this one definitely was like your top pick, it seemed, of the pile. So why this movie, and get right into what the premise is here.
Sure. All I can say about it is it's a movie I thoroughly enjoy. It's just this goofy, silly, over the top.
Definitely over the top.
I guess we could call it a horror movie.
I would say it's almost a horror comedy action movie.
Okay. It essentially follows the story of this girl named Rika, who's on her way to visit her grandfather, and she stumbles into this town that is full of zombies. That's the basic premise.
That's by and large that is the premise of the movie. Rika is going to visit her grandfather, and zombies. What I like about this is the fact that it's a zombie apocalypse movie in one sense, but it's not, because it's isolated to this town, and they clearly make it seem at every point in the movie that, no, it's only this town. There are zombies other places, but they're not a problem because there's an agency of some kind that handles these things. Right. And I thought that was just really an interesting way to sit there and take something like zombies and make it small scale. It was really cool. Although, saying that, this isn't a small scale movie by any means. They had to cut corners, like at the residence. You could clearly see they put down like plastic lining to catch all the fake blood. I think you had even pointed it out, or yeah. And that it's it's okay. It kind of actually fit with the, I guess, overall atmosphere of the movie. I think it's so campy and over the top that you're like, you know what? No, I believe these people just lived with plastic wrap on their floor just in case something like this happened. What about some actual characters to talk about this movie? Because for me, honestly, there's only like 3 characters that I really want to talk about, and that would be the main zombie hunter that we see at the beginning. Of course, your favorite character.
Yeah.
Takashi, because he is just like the heart and soul of the movie through most of the movie, in my opinion. You could do away with a lot of the other side characters and just focus on him and the weird way he talks and acts, and I would have just followed that. I love that. And then the only other one to really talk about, in my opinion, is the grandfather, just because he has no lines except for like the very end of the movie, yet he still manages to technically do some, like, the most for the overall story as well as physically.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that Rika is definitely a up there character because, I mean, she is the focal point.
She is the focal point, but with the amount of time she spends transitioning between kind of how she is, she starts off as just that girl, and then immediately we get into the whole sequence where she kind of gets incapacitated for a while. I just feel like that, and then when she comes back, while she is the main character, she's just, I don't know, she's not that likable. There's not that much to her. There was nothing specific about anything she said or did that really made me be drawn to the character, other than she is supposed to be the focal point.
I think the reason you were supposed to like her was the friendship type bond she had with another girl, and it felt like it relied way too heavily on that, and it kind of fell through.
Yeah, like she had no real motivation after the point of that character. Like, what happened with that character? Her only motivation, okay, I'm going to sort of, I guess, try to avenge you, but I don't know what I'm doing, and I haven't known what I'm doing, so I'm probably just going to keep screwing up, is really what happens after that. So, and that's why it just kind of falls flat. However, there are a lot of other characters who seem like they should have just fallen flat and shouldn't have had anything going for them that did a really good job, like the 3 that were survivors in the city.
Right.
That was a fun group of people to just follow their shenanigans around. Can't remember their names, don't even care about their names. It was just fun to watch that particular group of people.
The fight alone at the end was just so over the top.
It's everything you love about Korean cinema, isn't it?
I think this is a Japanese movie.
Is it Japanese?
It is, yeah.
Is it actually Japanese? I know they keep saying Japanese, but it looks more like a Korean film than a Japanese film.
I'm fairly sure.
No, I don't doubt you. It might be a completely Japanese production. It's just everything leading up to that is clearly Korean productions, like as far as the trailers they're showing. And then just the production value and the way they do a lot of the things just felt very much like a Korean shock film than a more of the Japanese shock horror. There's definitely like some Tokyo Gore Police elements and stuff like that, but this is more campy. What didn't work for this movie? Just clearly it didn't work for you.
I don't know, the extra bit at the end of the U.S. zombie hunter
Headquarters,
base,
yeah.
that part was completely unnecessary. Other than that, I think everything seemed to fit together, in my opinion.
Yeah, like that was just a really odd. I mean, I get it for one sense they needed to sit there and have some way to tie back to the whole missile strike scenario that was supposed to play out. So we needed this facility to be shown, but you're right. It was just completely extra. It was another shot to just put gratuitous nudity in there, which is fine, but I mean, let's face it, that a good portion of the sequence is just intensely dumb music, a guy laughing to himself as he looks at a dirty magazine, and then lots of focus on that dirty magazine.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of scenes like that in this movie, which are it is what it is, I guess, but the use of nudity in this movie is almost just purely comedically over the top. What about the American zombie hunter at the beginning? How do we feel about him?
I mean, he's my favorite character, so
He's my favorite character. I want you to deliver it. His all consuming like end of the world best line. There can be no better dialogue in a movie than his one famous line there.
just I am number one zombie killer. Yeah, it's the only thing that I'll ever quote from this movie.
Even if you forget everything else, you're like, I could still quote this. And he's great. It's hilarious just how great overall he is, just even for that little bit of time. What about Takashi?
Yeah.
From the very moment he comes on screen, walking backwards with a hoodie up, I'm not suspicious at all. No, bro, you're suspicious as hell. Okay, he's without a doubt actually probably my favorite character, and I feel like the movie couldn't have been done without him. You're right. It feels like a trauma film. This company is definitely very much Japanese trauma, and it's got all of that spirit. You know, gruesome, gory special effects, really bad dialogue and comedy, but comedy nonetheless, and gratuitous nudity. With that being said, would you recommend this to people? Would you say watch Zombie Hunter Rika?
Yeah, I doubt I'll give it a high score, but it is a movie that you almost have to see.
If nothing else, just to say, okay, that was interesting. Like, I mean, I like and dislike it. There's things that I definitely like about it, and I'm more on the like side, but it's clearly not the most polished work in the world, but that's fine.
I'm going to give it an 8.
8?
I am, because it's not the greatest movie, but it's fun and it's goofy and over the top, and it has rewatchability. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm going to say 8.
I can't go higher than a 6. I mean,
Can't go higher than a 6?
It's so bad. It's good bad, but it is so bad.
And I think I'm going to meet somewhere right in the middle. I'm going to say about a 7.5 in this one, and stick with a 7.5. There are certain actors who make it really, really watchable and rewatchable. Like, I would watch it just to see Takashi's character again, just to see the actor play that character. So things like that make me really enjoy it, but by all means, this is not a masterpiece. Like, it could honestly use an update. Like, I'd like to see a Zombie Hunter Rika remake with someone actually paying just a little bit more appreciation to the details. Would almost be interesting. All right, so overall, that's our rating. We say definitely give this one a watch, if nothing else for conversation value. If you liked the video, guys, give us a thumbs up. You didn't like it, give us a thumbs down, but you got to tell us why in the comments section. Of course, it always helps out if you subscribe. And with that, guys, thanks for watching, and have a happy Halloween, or at least October.